So recently we had experience with a pantry, a longtime partner who is transitioning into a new space and has decided that they want to go full client choice shelf model. And so she had a lot of questions, and she just said, I don't even know where to start. Like, how do I set up my shelving? How do I set up my space? How do I transition my volunteers to a different method? So we had asked her if she wanted to visit one of our other pantry sites that are client choice. And we have several nice pantries in the area that they could visit and see the different types of models. And that was just too much for her and her board and volunteers to, the little precious time that they had to spend within their pantry site, they couldn't get to those sites. So we decided to bring those sites to them in this video project. Always in the beginning when you try something new in transition, there's a time period, a learning period there, but freeing up space for the volunteers is something that we hear quite often. Once they change from that bagging method, the time they spent doing that, now they have time to do more one-on-one with their clients and help those clients through making those choices and making their visit the most pleasant possible for them.
The first step in moving towards a client choice food pantry is to determine the model that works best. The various models allow for flexibility in meeting each pantry's unique needs. The model a pantry chooses depends on space, equipment, and volunteers available. There are a few options to choose from. A shelf pantry model is where foods are stocked on shelves like in a grocery store. Foods are organized by food group or similar foods so that guests can easily compare available items. Reach-in refrigerators, freezers, and produce coolers are helpful in creating a shopping experience and providing more variety. In a table-style pantry, food is set on tables. The table-style pantry might work best in a shared space such as a community building or church hall where the pantry does not have its own designated space. In a window-style pantry, guests are outside the pantry area and can see the food available. Foods are arranged on shelves by food group behind the check-in station. Guests make their food choices by indicating to the volunteer what they would like. In a menu-style pantry, a list of food items is provided, and guests select what they want from the list. The pantry develops a list of available items. The list can be made with pictures, words, or a combination of both. As pantry inventory changes, it may be necessary to adjust and update the list. In this video, we will highlight several local food pantries that are using one of these client choice models.
We're open 6 times a month, so Friday and Saturday, the first, second, and third weeks of the month. We've got some small grocery carts, and things are lined on the food is all on the shelves, just as it is in the grocery store. And they go around, and each item has a sign over it saying how many they can get of the macaroni and cheese or the green beans or whatever. And they just follow through and then get their produce, and then we help by sacking it up for them so that they can get right out. I really didn't serve at the time that they did it the other day. I would say that's 8 to 10 years ago that this pantry switched. But the clients love it. I can't imagine if we said we're going to go back and do it the old way. I would say only half the people would keep coming because you get a choice whether you want green beans or corn today or whatever. We have the canned goods in such a way that they choose from a group of canned goods that they can have so many cans, 3 or 6 or whatever it is. But they aren't limited to just this kind or just that kind. And so it's just beneficial all around.
As you'll see, client choice doesn't have to be an all or nothing. It can be a combination style food pantry, such as the Good Samaritan Ministries food pantry here in Carbondale. They offer a bag of groceries as well as the opportunity for clients to choose from a variety of products that they have available. When thinking about having volunteers for client choice food pantries, it's easier to change the job descriptions or change the volunteer tasks. It doesn't take more volunteers, it just has the volunteers doing different types of tasks. Instead of stocking bags or packing bags, you're stocking shelves or putting things out on tables. It takes about the same number of volunteers to operate the food pantry either way.
You live in Tuscaloosa County or Galveston County, you can visit us one day a week, Wednesday, one time a month on Wednesday from 9 to 11. And what you do is simple process. We come and we funnel you through one door. You have to sign in, and once you sign in, we explain to you we have different tables. The first table you go through, you get to select 5 items that fit your family. Then there's another table that is like jellies and milk and all that, and you get to take all you want of that. Then we have drinks that you take. We give you choices of meat. You get 3 choices of meat. You start getting free produce from Vian, Illinois. We'll let them tell us what they want in their bag, and when we fill their bags up for them, and we put it in a cart so we can take it out to their car and deliver them. But they get their choices of each one of those things that we have on the shelf. I think it makes the individual feel like he's really, nobody's directing him, throwing the bag to him. It's simply, you get your choice.
Client Choice at this particular location, just about 3 weeks. Our Cairo location has been in effect since last May, so it's been up and running for quite some time longer. But we were approached as to have something similar to that here in Johnson County. When they enter the door, we greet them with a smile always. We get the information from them, and then we say we have suggested prompts on each shelf that gives you an idea of about what we expect you to have. If they have a larger family and a multitude of children under 18, then we may compensate for that and let them take more than the suggested prompts. But we have prompts all over on all the shelves, and then we give them instructions when they come in. And if they have any questions, they can ask us while they're shopping. The clients love just walking up and seeing all the colors and what's available, and they're more apt to choose things and things that go together to make a meal or enhance a meal. So I love the baskets. We've developed a system to where we only allow 1 family in at a time. That gives them the privacy of shopping. They don't feel rushed. They don't feel like I gotta grab this off the shelf or the next person may take it. So it's 1 person at a time. They have privacy. It gives them dignity. It gives them a lot of respect. They can ask questions. So we want to give them the opportunity to feel free to talk, ask. And then 2, we have some clientele that come in. We offer a multitude of services here. So there might be a client that comes in that's in crisis, or maybe they've really depressed. We can pick up on that and offer other services that they might need.
When stocking your pantry, be mindful that the types of items purchased for your food pantry will vary based on your client's needs. For example, Arrowleaf has a food pantry location in Cairo and in Vienna. Marcia Hayes, the food pantry coordinator for both sites, noted that the items that are selected at one site do not necessarily go as well at the other site. Be aware of cultural needs and requests when purchasing items.
We started in 2010, and we were just packing bags and boxes and giving out food that way. And then after a couple years, we started to hear about Client Choice. Tried to do a little experimenting with putting a few items on tables and letting people pick, 2 or 3 of different items. And then it's just kind of evolved over the last few years to become completely Client Choice. We have been outside ever since the start of the pandemic and just decided to stay outside because we like to roll the pallets of food out, and then we're able to give people a choice to take items right off that pallet. And also we have a lot of coolers and refrigerators and freezers, and then normally a volunteer standing next to it to tell them how many items they're able to select. We just recently completed our nutrition policy with Tony K, Go, Slow, and Whoa. And so you have the healthy food identified with a green light, and then you have the maybe not so healthy food with a yellow, and then the foods that are, definitely sugary and high in fat, and other categories in the red. So we have set up our distribution line so the start of the line is the green foods, and then we get to the yellow foods, and then finally to the red foods. So it helps people to have a little bit of an understanding if they're interested in learning about nutrition and how to select the foods that we have on that day at the pantry according to those categories. It's not a one-size-fits-all by any means, because there's a lot of variation in your facility and your offering of food and your capacity of volunteers. Find what other people are doing, and then just start experimenting with it, and don't feel like you have to go all the way. I feel like for us it was frustrating because we felt like we had to make it completely Client Choice at the start, and that was just overwhelming. So we still did kind of half and half until we started to make that transition, and now it's just become the culture of what we do.